evening, everybody, and welcome to the Daily Show with Stephen Mergal. Today, Jasper Fagot and Carl Fedoro will be joining us and will be answering our question accordingly.
Good
Good evening,
evening,
everyone.
everyone.
We also have a guest that will be asking questions according to the vaccine being used, namely Romer Balinsoy, so let's start now. How can we be sure that the given vaccine will be safe to distribute to the people around?
COVID-19 vaccines must undergo rigorous testing in clinical trials to prove that they meet international agreed benchmarks for safety and effectiveness.
Dr. Jasper, are there any vaccines that are available for use here in the Philippines?
Yes, in fact, there are 4 vaccines that the FDA approved to be used, namely Pfizer, AstraZeneca, Sinovac, and lastly, Sputnik Bigam.
Will this vaccine be effective in stopping the pandemic right now?
No one knows how long the vaccines will protect you as of the moment, for these are only created in the past few months.
How can we rest assured that the vaccines would be given to everyone?
The government is doing its best in the distribution of the vaccines all across the Philippines, but mostly on the ones where there are the most active cases.
Are there any side effects of the said vaccine?
If your body develops an immune response to the vaccination, there is a possibility you may test positive on some antibody tests. Antibody tests indicate you had a previous infection and that you may have some level of protection against the virus. Experts are currently looking at how COVID-19 vaccination may affect antibody testing results.
Are there any people who are excluded through the use of the said vaccines?
Yes, people who have an allergic reaction with the ingredients of the vaccines, as well as the ones who are experiencing COVID-19 or the symptoms of it.
Who will be the first one who will receive the said vaccines, or which group will you prioritize to be vaccinated?
The first people to be vaccinated are the frontliners, senior citizens, persons with comorbidities, and the ones that are in the indigent population, for they are more susceptible to the said virus.
March is the start of the arrival of vaccines, which are AstraZeneca and Sinovac. My question is, can the vaccine be taken even if you've had COVID?
Even if you've had COVID-19, you should still get vaccinated. The COVID vaccine may offer more reliable and sustainable immunity than a previous infection. At the very least, it will add an extra layer of targeted protection. Here's how our immunity response works after a natural infection versus a vaccine.
After the COVID-19 vaccine, will I test positive for COVID-19 on a viral test?
No, neither the recently authorized and recommended vaccines nor the COVID-19 vaccines currently in clinical trials in the United States can cause you to test positive on viral tests, which are used to see if you have current infection.
If your body develops an immune response to the vaccination, there is a possibility you may test positive on some antibody tests. Antibody tests indicate you had a previous infection and that you may have some level of protection against the virus. Experts are currently looking at how COVID-19 vaccination may affect antibody testing results.
Will a COVID-19 vaccination protect us from getting COVID symptoms?
Yes, COVID-19 vaccination works by teaching your immune system how to recognize and fight the virus that cause COVID-19. And this protects you from getting sick with COVID-19.
Being protected from getting sick is important because even though many people with COVID-19 have only a mild illness, others may get a severe illness, have long-term health effects, or even die. There's no way to know how COVID-19 will affect you. even if you don't have an increased risk of developing severe complications. Rest assured that the government would be doing its best to bring back the country to the normal phase during pre-pandemic. We already have received approximately 508,000 doses of vaccines. 1 million doses of Sinovac arrived in the past, and 38,400 doses of AstraZeneca. Our goal is to reach 70 million people to be vaccinated. We encourage everyone to follow the guidelines implemented as well as being vaccinated to end the pandemic and flatten the curve in the following weeks or months. We also are expecting your full participation in the eradication of the virus in our country.
Now, the Late Late Show present the stories of hope with our guest Samora, a COVID-19 survivor.
It started when I began feeling sick in March. I visited my local clinic, fearing an infection, diagnosed with bronchitis. I sent home with medication. My physician recommended me to undergo testing. One night, I woke up to go to bathroom. I couldn't breathe. My vision was cloudy and blurred. I wanted to be strong for my family. I keep on telling everything's fine, but I was sick. I know I can stay in this house forever, but I don't want anybody to come to my house, and I don't want to be around anybody because the thought of passing this to somebody scares me. So I took all the medication given by my physician and survived. I want people to take coronavirus seriously, but instead of discriminating them, what the world needs more are love, kindness, and forgiveness.
Kiran Mazumdarshan said, ultimately, the greatest lesson that COVID-19 teaches humanity is that we are all in this together. This is where our talk show ends, and we have a lot more to talk about in the next chapters. Live your life with purpose. See you in the next chapter.
Hey there, I said it, I'm in love with you.